Hi there, welcome back. I hope the lighting is all right. It's a rare thing, but I'm actually recording at nighttime. But hubby and Kirby are snoozy heads downstairs, and I thought I'm going to take advantage of this and I'm just going to do a quick little catch up. I did some work on the roundabout papers. But I'm not sure how shiny this will be. So, apologies ahead of time. I am not a cinematographer. As I used to say, I'm not Steven Spielberg. But I've got half of this on, and I'm very happy. But I'm going to put this aside for now because I have the tiniest of thrift hauls, and then we'll get back to this. So let me put that aside. Where's my teeny tiny thrift haul? Ah, it's over here. Now, the one thing I can't show you because she's wearing it is the veterinarian's clinic gave Kirby this little, it's called a surgical suit, and it's supposed to stop her from licking her incision. Well, the leg holes on it are so big, and any clever little puppy, I mean, everyone likes to think their puppy is clever, and Kirby is no slouch, but this suit does nothing unless she had had surgery up on her rib cage. She can get at anything down there. So, but I saw, thank you to YouTube, a lady, I think she was either in Sweden or Norway. She's got a little poodle mix that loves to play in the snow, but when this little dog goes diving and jumping and frolicking in the snow makes balls on the curly fur, and apparently it can be very uncomfortable while it melts and they can get cold. And anyhow, she figured out how to buy the correct size of a baby sleeper with snaps, not a zipper, and just turn it around and put it on her dog to keep the snow off of it. But I thought that would completely prevent Kirby from being able to lick her incision. And the reason for the snaps down on a baby, it would be down the tummy and the legs. But if you've got the snaps, you can just open up, if you need to, one snap or so to let the tail come out. But the other side where they can't get at it because the legs, all four legs are completely covered down to their paws, and they can't lick at the wound because it's completely covered. So I got some baby jammies for 50 cents. That was great. I found a cigar box. I love a good cigar box, 99 cents. Yellow tags were 50% off. Plus, I had a full card. My little Mission thrift store, you get a stamp every time you spend more than $5. When your card is full, you get 20% off your purchase. So I used my 20% off. And whether that was smart or not, I don't know. It made me feel good because it wasn't Senior's Day, and I'm really mad at myself when I miss Senior's Day. Now that I'm a senior, I want all my seniors' discounts. Anyhow, I just look at those colors. Isn't that lovely? And the palm trees, and I've never been to the Dominican Republic, but I have in the past been known to enjoy the odd cigar, or I think I talked myself into that I was enjoying the odd cigar, and I really didn't. I don't anymore. But it's very pretty. I have a really old cigar box that I keep all my stuff for my 2 Nana Books marks. And I love it because it's a King Edward box, and I have a son named Edward. And hopefully someday, when I'm dead and gone and my children are going through my studio, of course Ted's going to see this. My son Edward, he goes by Ted. We named him after his grandfather. And it says, "Happy birthday, King Edward the 7th." And of course, that's not the King Edward who abdicated. So, so I love this box, especially because I love the name Edward. It reminds me of my father-in-law and my son, two of my favorite people. So, anyhow, I love this one too because you know me. I mean, red and that beautiful green, and I like this stamp on it. Isn't that neat? So I got that for 99 cents. I don't know what I'm going to put in it yet, but I just find that square things with a lid that is attached, I really like that for storage. So that's why I love tins, old tins where the lid is attached. Here, let me get my sewing tin. Here, let me move this. This is turning chatty. Are you shocked? I was just chatting in the comments on Studioloo, on Cindy's channel, Studioloo, which is good. You should go see it if you haven't been over to Studioloo. You should go see what Cindy is up to. And she's a fellow Canadian. See, I like this tin because it's square, and of course I love the beautiful colors, and I just find that when they're square you can store better than if they're round, right? You get better use of your space. And this is all my things for sewing signatures. So my needles, my pins, my wax, my huge my huge paper clips that I like, and then the things that I like putting in at the spine. So sometimes I want a little bit of lace, and sometimes I want a big bit of lace to go in at the top of a book. I have different threads that I like for different reasons. This is pre-waxed thread. I'm still deciding whether I like it or not. And otherwise, I usually like... You shouldn't be in there. You snuck in there. I usually like upholstery thread, and I'll wax it. And over here is some. And I like black thread in case I put a spread in the center of a signature of using an old photo album. You know, the old black photo albums. I like to use black thread for those signatures because then it doesn't show up. So that's nice. And I'm saving this. That's off of a book. I figure I might use it one day. It's a band. Just because it just reminds me, Simpsons was a store that I loved going shopping at. So I don't necessarily enjoy those needles. I don't think I've ever tried them. I just love this. I love that. So I saved it. My favorite needle will be in the last one that I've used. So which one's the last one that I used? Oh, that's the last one I used. That's my favorite needle. I'll be very sad the day that needle breaks, because that's my favorite signature sewing needle. I find, here's a little hint, I find that if you're, oh, there's the other band. If the hole you punch, if you use an awl, or maybe if you use a pointy thing, or maybe you use, I have an antique one, and And I use them all for different reasons, for depending on the size of hole that I want. As long as your pokey tool gives you a bigger hole into your signatures than the needle that you use for sewing, this one, you'll have an easier time sewing your signatures. And there's also an advantage. You know me, my policy is I would rather have more signatures with fewer papers. And not only because it looks nicer and gives you a nicer finished product, but also because, oh, look how nicely those stack together. Isn't that going to look pretty on my shelf? Also because, hold on, I'm putting it away. Oh, well, that thought's gone. Oh, it's easier to sew through 4 or 5 sheets of paper than it is to try and weave your needle through 10 or 12. That's, I think, where some people get frustrated sewing signatures the first few times. They've made their signatures too fat because they think it would be easier to just sew 2 signatures into their first, second, third, or fourth junk journal, when it would actually be easier to do a junk journal with 4 or 5 signatures that have fewer papers in them. Trust me on this. Give it a try. I found some green lace. And I do have a gardening journal coming up that I think green would look nice on. And I think I'm not sure whether I want this green for my little tiny forest lore book, but I have a World Book Encyclopedia that I want to do some more forest lore books out of those. They're just the perfect shade of green. So that was good, 99 cents for that much lace. And I don't even necessarily use it full width. You can always trim it down and use it flat, or re-ruffle it a little less wide. You can cut it in along the pattern and just make it different. So I got that for 99 cents. Happy with that. I don't know who's getting rid of all these or why they keep finding them, but I'll just keep buying them. They're more of those little lockets. And I love them. And you know what? Maybe someday when I run out of the lockets, I'll know it's time to close up shop on my studio. These cute little tiny, teeny tiny lockets. Look at that. I mean, how cute are they? I think I should start wearing one around my neck. They're just the cutest. And it was yellow tag day, so I got them for $1.50. I couldn't leave them there. I had to have them. I couldn't walk away from the little lockets. Now, I found this book. It's rather big, but I couldn't walk away from this leather cover. Look at this cover. It's just beautiful. I love the color of it. I love the embossing on it. It's just beautiful. I think it is Dutch. I don't know for sure. Someone will know. When I see a last name with Van on the in the last name, my first thought is Dutch. So I believe this is a treatise. There was another one there. There were 2 books, and the other one was in terrible condition. The spine was hanging half off. This one was in lovely condition, especially given its age. I think he did a series of books on the New Testament, because I can get that much from it. I'm sure that means New Testament. And I believe it says Johannes, and I bet that's John. So I bet this is the Book of John. And it's 1918. So it's over 100 years old. It's in lovely condition. I love this front page. The paper's lovely. I love that somebody actually read it and highlighted it. That just warms my heart. My good old scriptures are, oh golly, they're written in and folded and colorful and inked and oh my goodness. So that just warms my heart when I see that. So I had to have this book, and I already took the price tag off of it, but it was $2.99, but it was a yellow tag, so it was 50% off, so $1.50, and then I got 20% off that. So that's a great price for a nice leather book that's got this beautiful, I won't put anything on that. I just love that the way it is. I think that's just, will make a beautiful journal one day. So, and the spine, it's beautiful. I don't know what it says. I'll have to go to Google Translate and find out. And it really doesn't matter to me. It's just so pretty. I love it. That's going to be a very nice journal. And then I found these, which I have many. I have several sets of them. I use them all the time. In fact, the XYZ or Z, depending on what country you are in. I'm in Canada, so it's XYZ. I have, I jokingly say that 3 of my grandchildren are bilingual because my son's wife, my daughter-in-law, is American, and their 3 little children sort of say Z and Z interchangeably because mommy says Z and daddy says Z, and the TV quite often says Z. Up here in Canada, most of our channels are still American channels. We do have a lot of Canadian channels, but it's still Z tends to take over. But we certainly, I grew up on Z. Anyhow, so I have a lot of these, but none of them had this. And that's what I want to look at. $2. Salvation Army. They didn't have a whole lot on sale. They claimed, oh, massive book sale. Adult books, 50 cents. Well, there wasn't anything. It was all modern books. It was all up to date, you know, John Grisham and that sort of book. Well, I mean, I enjoy a good John Grisham book, but that doesn't solve my art craving. This time, for these, the ones that I have in the past, I've got to see the XYZ. There it is. Ta-da! That one is in Miscellaneous that I just finished, who just went off on her journey today. Well, when you see it, it'll be yesterday. These are what I like, these holes there, and this. How cool is that? So I'm quite sure I'll have to find a way to, I don't know. We'll figure it out together, won't we? For $2? Wahoo! I wonder if there's a year on this. The area code is on the phone number, but there is no postal code on the address. And her outfit looks very 70s. So the cuffs, length of the skirt, the style of the shoes. I remember when postal codes were introduced. For my American viewers, that's what we call a zip code. We call it a postal code. All right, so back to the roundabout papers. Oh my goodness, do I love the title of this book, The Roundabout Papers, etc. So you can see she's looking really nice. I've got her one side in. She looks rough there. Yes, I'm okay with that. You know me. I like a grungy looking book. She's sturdy. I'm even going to chip that off. Now, I did a little doctoring with some distress ink. And I just sort of took the lid off and just went along the edges. And I even went along the edges of the corners and that. And I even rubbed a little along the spine to try and tone down how brown this spine is. And here, I did it here, just to, I can see here, I'm going to put a bit more, so I'll show you how I did it. So you can see some little chips there that I didn't get. I simply went in and then smudged it. Now, it'll wear off again, but that's okay. It'll wear off where it needs to wear off, and that's the way it should be. So be it. So let's glue this second part down. These corners too, I already distressed them a bit. And they're good. So let's do this side. And I think we'll call it quits for the night. And I'll go let that poor man have a break. I hope the shadows aren't too bad. I've got a light going here. I've got one of those lights for in the winter time for the people that find they need more sunlight. Seasonal affective disorder lights. Here, I'm going to put this under here. I've got paint from when I painted the board for the journaling board for the little teeny tiny forest lore book. This is 3-in-1 because we're going to be gluing fabric to paper. I've come up with an idea for my end papers for this book, but I'm not going to tell you yet, but I do believe Miss Nancy will be very pleased, and she won't disown me. So I'm just generously gluing most of this. I'm not going too close to the edge. I'm going to do that over on the cover, well, the back cover. I guess it's the cover, but it's not the front. So I'm going to go along here. The paper is so old. I believe this book is 1889. I seem to recall. And you can see where it goes dark, how it's just soaking it up like it hasn't had a drink in eons. So I'm just tucking it in real close because when we close it with the text block inside, that's what's going to give us our little folds, our little gutter divot-y folds. So make sure that's well applied. But I've got an idea for the end papers. But we'll go through that together. Probably later in the weekend or maybe Monday. So again, you're going to see, just going to give that another little push. That's the nice thing about 3-in-1 and Fabri-Tac. You've still got a little wiggle room, especially because, think about it, this book is never going to lay flat again. It's always going to be like this after the text block goes in. So there's no need for it to be too far away. It can have some room to bend with that divot that we created. You can still see it there. And that's all. I can feel that that's nice and even. So that's good. And then what I'll be doing, I'm not going to do it now because that needs to dry. I think I will be repeating at least 2 of the brads, but I don't think I need to put as many on the front, simply because, like I said, it will never lay flat open like this ever again. So it only needs to look nice from the face down, but I do believe that the brads would, again, just would give it a little more strength. But now I'm second guessing myself, and I'll tell you why I'm second guessing myself. It's going to have a whole end paper glued in. That will give the cover, the spine wing, and the end paper the ability to all join together. And if I'm going to put a book plate here, that end paper comes out to here, there will be a brad there. I'm going to think on this. I'm not sure I need to now. Now that I think about it, I don't think I need to put brads here. Gosh, I like that. All right, so we were short and sweet today, just like Kirby, who's doing really well. I'm hoping we've only got about 2 more days of her having to wear her little embarrassing scuba suit so that she won't lick her incision. She's got the cutest little incision. It's about that long. Gosh, when I think about when I got spayed, so many people hate when I use that term. But that, when you have a hysterectomy, that's what it is. I mean, it was hip to hip. Whoa. She's got little like that. But she's also little, so that's a pretty big incision when you weigh 11 pounds. So I'm just going to use my trusty old brick there. There's too much information again from Catherine. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. Trusty brick. It's the end of the day. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to probably put on some Dr. Pol because that's Kirby's favorite show lately, and go relax. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk very soon. It's the weekend, so I should get some time, hopefully either maybe later on today or certainly on Sunday. I should get some time to do a little video, because I do want to do some work on the journaling board for the little beacon book, the literary readers. I did go in and touch up where it was orange there. Remember that this little bit was still orange, so I touched it up. But it's right now, it feels like fingers on a chalkboard, and it's driving me a little crazy. Okay, I gotta go, and this time I really mean it. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. And oh dear, that's really shiny. Oh. There. Put my hand right there. Bye. Have a great day.